everybody, before you watch the video, make sure you follow the page, like the video, hope you enjoy.
Well, I've definitely had students say that, oh, I heard you talking about this like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I never really understood what you were talking about, but now I get it. It just takes some time to actually, you know.
I heard one say 10 years the other day.
Yep,
Oh my
10,
God.
2, 3, 10.
No, I was like, oh, really? I told you that 10 years all the time, and now you got it. Yeah.
That happens every year, man, because we kind of do like, we have a little bit of like a kind of curriculum of stuff,
Yep.
and we try to revisit the same scenarios and like, all right, escapes and stuff, or this and that, and structure it like that. And every year, it's like, why didn't you tell us that last year? It's like, man,
You did.
You just either weren't able to comprehend it, or you didn't understand it, or you weren't paying attention.
And that click, is that click sometimes. Sometimes even once pay attention, everything just did not click.
I'm still getting it. So
Yeah.
I'm sure there's stuff that I've heard like maybe Hodger Gracie say in the past, and I'm like, oh, that's what he meant. That's so simple. Why wasn't I doing that then?
Yeah, it's
Correct.
funny, man.
So it is pretty funny like that. Yeah.
So just like moving on to another topic, you've always been involved in like competition stuff and that type of thing. So, I just want to kind of hear your kind of experience and stuff like that.
So I actually started volunteering with the AFBJJ before I started jiu-jitsu. So I think I did like maybe 3 or 4 competitions just as a volunteer.
Okay.
Before I even started, just sort of watching it. I was kind of interested, but never started it. I think it was that conflict between judo and jiu-jitsu that sort of existed. So I was very judo.
Yeah.
And then was still interested in watching the grappling. So, and I definitely watching UFC and Pride and seeing how jiu-jitsu was working. So I sort of started going in and volunteering, and it was purely run by volunteers. The referees were volunteers.
Really?
Everything was volunteer. And so I sort of saw the importance of building it up from that grassroots level. If we want a future of this sport, you know, we needed more people volunteering at that time. And so I just threw my hat in on everything. If anything ever came up, I was like, yep, I'm there.
Yeah.
I want this sport to grow. Because I'd already sort of started pushing in that direction of
Going
looking at
coaching and stuff,
becoming a career.
Yeah.
I was like, well, if I don't push it and get more people involved, it's not going to be a very good it's not going to be a very good career path for me either. So I guess there was a little bit of selfishness in that as well, but really worked heavily for quite a few years with the AFBJJ. And then it was basically any competition that would come up, my hand was up. I'm going to be there. I'll volunteer. I'll be marshal, scorekeeper. I'll give out medals. I'll do referee and whatever we need.
Yeah.
I just wanted people competing. I know it's still an individual sort of choice, but I think it's important that if you're training and you're training with the same people every day, and you know, sometimes I might start to come up with answers against one opponent, one training partner. I'd like to test it and see if I'm able to do that against other people. So I think it is important, if you want your jiu-jitsu to really develop quickly, to get in there and compete.
I agree.
You know, what's the point of? I mean, there are plenty of people that do it just as a hobby. I'm okay with that, but if you're training hard, if you're training more than 3 times a week, what for? Is it just the exercise? I don't know. I'd like to test it. You can have extra exercise on a Sunday and go and do a competition and see what other people are doing, and see if you can come up with answers to what other people are doing. And then would have been about 2014, grappling industries started to show up, and I decided already to move up to Brisbane. So I can't remember if it was 2015 or 16 that I moved up here. And so Grappling Industries was run out of Melbourne, but we'd already organised Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane events. So I was flying out to do the competitions every other weekend. That first year in Brisbane, I think I only actually spent 4 months in Brisbane.
Yeah.
So I was up here coaching, paying rent, but only spent 4 months up here.
Yeah.
Just the rest of it was just traveling for competitions. It was really busy. I think I did 26 competitions in the first year I was up here.
Yeah. Wow.
So every second weekend was a comp.
Yeah.
And you know, when I'm flying down to Melbourne and then the next event's the weekend after in Adelaide or the weekend after in Sydney, it's just like I'll just stay in Melbourne rather than fly back to Brisbane. You know, I still got a lot of family down there and a lot of friends down there, so it was pretty easy to just go and stay with friends and family and then just go to the next event straight from there.
Yeah.
But then I've been working with the down at Byron Bay, the Australian Open.
Yeah.
Any local comps that'll show up. So you've got Phil Graham. He does the sub-only championships, so I'll always help him. And the classic as well. So the classic jiu-jitsu, which has come out of other competitions, but that's just more fight night sort of stuff. Yeah. But if there's a comp, I'll usually, if I've got the time, I'll definitely go and help out.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the video. If you haven't yet already, make sure you subscribe, like, and again, go and check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, like all our platforms. Give us a follow at bjj.101 on Instagram, and go and check out bjj101.com.au to access the full video library.